There's an old saying which is if you don't fail in life continuously, then how the hell are you ever going to succeed? Well, this is in response to a viewer, Dave. I appreciate you commenting, because there's only kind of like, let's face it, a handful of people that could be bothered watching an old codger sort of work on a boat. And so yeah, thanks Dave. Just he inquired about how did the chili and copper homemade homebrew antifoul work out. Well, I got a report that it was pretty much a complete failure, and I'll show you why. Here's the rudder of the Fleming wind vane. Now, what I didn't realise, or I didn't know, I mean, how often do you mix resin with chili powder? But what I didn't realise is that the chili would kind of expand in the resin, so it would soak it up and expand, and it's formed this kind of like a really sort of rough surface, like really rough sandpaper. I guess you can kind of see that, but it's really really horrible. So I'm going to strip all that back. Obviously that would just cause a lot of drag. That's the side where I just put the copper powder on the resin, but I'm going to strip the whole lot off, and I'm going to try again. And I think I've got the idea next time. I'm just going to put a layer of put a coating of epoxy resin on there and let that set, and then I'm going to put another layer of epoxy resin on there, and then sprinkle copper powder all over it. So that's the next experiment, I'd say. Well, here's another little job I'm doing at home. You can see it behind me. Light's fading a bit now, but you can see it behind me. It's the rear seat at the stern. So it's basically all the usual story. All the varnish was coming off, and so I'm just stripping it all back with some paint stripper, and going to give it lots and lots of coats of varnish. And so put a bit of paint stripper on there. Get it all around, scraping all that varnish off there, coming off nicely. Alrighty, well, I'm on my way to get some provisions for my little stay on my boat. It's a beautiful morning here. It's that sort of beautiful sort of sun that you only get in wintertime. And I'm sitting on the bow here out on my boat. And I just really wanted to show off my two solar panels. I've got two 250 watt flexible solar panels. Now these are just cheapies that I bought off eBay. They cost me $195 each. There's one that's just sitting up at the bow. That's only temporarily there. That will eventually be mounted on my Dodger. There's a bit of a better look at that other solar panel, and it's just, you can see there, it's just mounted above the Dodger. So there's the 200 amp hour deep cycle marine batteries, along with the regulator. It's all obviously pretty messy at the moment, and the idea is to secure those down in case it got, you know, knocked down or something out in the ocean and the batteries won't go flying around and wipe somebody out. So they'll be held down by these battery mounts. These just bolt to the floor. That's the securing mount at the top. Just hook into there. Pretty happy with that. It's all secured down, nice and solid. It's not moving, that's the main thing. It's plugged back in again, it's charging. And so the next stages will be to put some fuses on the solar panel, and also to build a battery box around it as well. Well, here's a bit of a sketch I've made for the wooden battery box that's just going to go over the whole lot here. Time to turn the fridge back on. Well, the last time I started up the motor, I noticed it was shaking around a fair bit, a lot more than a motor should, which to me indicates an engine mount. So I'll be removing a panel at the back of the motor, which is just on the sole of the cockpit. So let's have a go at that. Well, that was pretty easy. Well, I've revealed the 6 Phillips heads. Oh well, I got 5 of them, but there's always one, isn't there? This one just spun around, so I'm just undoing it by hand. Next stage is to saw through this layer of whatever it is, celastic or whatever. Have a look inside, eh? Well, the good news is I haven't broken the gasket, which is good. So I can reuse that. You can see straight away that removing that inspection hatch in the cockpit gives really good, a lot better access to the motor, and just sort of looks a lot clearer as well. Just looking around, you can see it a lot clearer, and there's a lot more light getting onto the motor, so you can see into it. And I'm just about to start it, and you can see this shaking anyway, which I just find a little bit disconcerting. Okay, I'm just going to have a look at the individual mounts now. This is on the starboard side mount. This is on the port side mount. Right, this is the motor in gear with prop spinning, and I used to think that it settled down a bit when I did this, but it doesn't seem to. But in my mind, it seems to be jumping up and down on the starboard side, so I might try to sort of tweak these up a bit. Well, I'm just inspecting all the engine mounts at the moment, and they actually appear to be in good condition. So I'm just going to tighten them up and just give them a bit of a tweak. The first thing is I've got to undo the top nut. Okay, I'm just tightening it up again. Now, another thing I'll be checking about this, what I see as excessive engine movement, and look, I'm really happy if anyone wants to sort of shed some light on, am I just chasing my tail here? Is that movement acceptable? Just laying down here on the cockpit floor, but look, I've just checked all the engine mounts, they all seem tight. I've checked the bolts around the prop shaft, it seems they all seem tight and good. I've checked all the engine bolts where the engine mounts actually connect to the engine. They all seem good and tight, and the rubbers all seem good. The prop doesn't seem bent, So look, if anyone's got any ideas or can shed some light on this, I'd be really grateful. Well, as I go around this engine and look at the engine mounts, I'll be replacing these hose clamps as well. They always look a bit dodgy to me, these slotted ones. Put this cover back on. Okay, just a little aside here. I found these two things, these two objects on the boat. I don't know what they are. Maybe someone can help me work out what these things are. Feel free to leave a comment. I'd appreciate any ideas. What the hell are they? Every week I'm going to start up just recommending a channel, a YouTube channel. It's not going to be the biggies like La Vagabond or whatever. It's going to be actually some of the smaller, lesser known channels, but I think they're certainly worthy having a look at. And this week I want to just give a shout out to a Romanian friend of mine, Cyprian Papica. He's got a great channel called Earth Explorer. Go back to his early videos and you'll see him. He'll be at, I think it's at Miami, and he ended up sailing his tiny little boat over to Cuba. So he's a guy with a lot of spirit, and he really does some nice videos. He's back in Romania now, but it's not the last we're going to hear of Cyprian Papica. Time to go. But thanks for watching, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. I'll see you next time. Bye.